There we go. There we go. All right. So what's up, gentlemen? I'm not Jared of Big O Belt Media alongside of my co-host Lucas Moore. It is a pleasure to talk to you too. All things BMF today. Things are crazy, crazy. And if the show wasn't even already crazy, that little glitch that happened with episode 7 just, added to it.
Yeah. I can't use the words I want to, but damn.
We all love Starz here. That's the first thing. And BMF is one of the hottest shows on television, if not the hottest show on television right now. So it is a pleasure to talk to you, Myles and Lil Zane. So my first question getting into things today is how is it just being a part of the BMF family, the Starz family, having one of the hottest shows on television? What's it like, man?
Man, it's definitely a blessing, man. It's a blessing. It's a dream come true at the same time, man. I always, no matter how many records I sold or how many movies I did, I always told people I ain't never did a TV show, man. I ain't never been a star. So it was one of my goals in my life to be a star on a TV show. And even though Meech and Terry are definitely the stars of this show and their mom and dad, is like just to be a part of a show like this, and to be one of the cast members on the show like that. And, it's just amazing, man. Like, it's amazing, bro. And to be part of a true story too. I always wanted to do a true story, a period piece. So, just all that in one is overwhelming sometimes, but I'm grateful. I'm prepared for it. I think it was just preparation meets opportunities equals success. I had to be prepared for what's happening right now, and it's just it's a blessing, man, to me, man.
Man, grateful feels like an understatement. I especially when I look at like the reaction to the show, the response to the show, the response to my character, the response to my character getting taken out. It's just really been it's been amazing, man. It's been amazing, and it's iconic when people just start talking to you about, hey man, yeah, so I used to know Meech and them. I used to blah blah blah, or people start talking to me, start singing a song to me, and start whatever it is, and it's just so cool, man. It's just so cool. As a kid, like the inner kid in me is just like, this shit's so cool, man. I'm out here with 50 Cent. I'm right next to acting next to Russell Hornsby, and Tasha Smith is directing me, and Wood Harris is over there, Steve Harris is over. Man, surreal, bro, so real.
So real.
So to follow that up for Myles especially, now you coming off of a show that a bunch of teenagers hate you. Coming off of the Runaways, it's a bunch of teenagers that just dislike you.
Yeah.
What made you go out for this role of Slick on BMF?
Hey man, you know what, man? So honestly, bro, I didn't even audition for Slick. I didn't even audition for BMF. I auditioned for Power Force, which is the Tommy spinoff.
Yeah.
So I auditioned for a role in that, and the character that I auditioned for was like a brutal, hard character, similar to the world of Lamar. So when I got called that I got booked a role for BMF and a character named Slick, and they didn't have no character description, they didn't really know what it was. And then Tasha Smith called me a couple of days after I booked it and was like, hey, so I want you to find the humor. I want you to be the funny guy because nobody else is gonna be funny. I want you to find it. And so from there on, it was just like, all right, I'm gonna do it, man. And as an actor, like, we audition for what comes to us. Like, we don't necessarily always have the facility to choose what we audition for. Like, we'll get a audition from our manager and agents, and we can say yes or no on whether we want to audition after we've gotten it, but we don't really have the choice on choosing the projects that we audition for. So I auditioned for Power, and it happened to get BMF, and then happened to get this character, and then just happened to be able to put forth a performance, and then my character just happened to be one of the favorites, and then it just happened to happen to Bella, you know what I mean? So it's just like God was working and God was moving, man. And to come from a show like Runaways, where I am playing a character that is just straight, just with the business, that's just like having fun, brutalizing these kids, and then to go and do a character that kind of is like a fan favorite that people love and that people like look forward to, and people that it's funny and stuff. It just, as an actor, I love that because it allows people to see my range, and so it's just a great opportunity.
Now, same thing for you, Lil Zane. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up with the 2000s. We all know you. I mean, the moment I saw you anywhere, automatically pops into my head. Calling me popped into my head. Like, how was it to land this role on BMF?
Man, it was life changing, man. All over again. It was like a second life. You know what I'm saying? It was like a second life. You know, and for me, it just meant that it just told me I was meant to be doing what I'm doing. Cause a lot of times, you know, you're doing this stuff, you're rehearsing, you're working out, you're running 5 miles a day, you're in rehearsal 3 times a day, you're going to acting classes, you're going to all these events at night, you're popping bottles in these clubs, you're shaking hands, you know, and you're funding all this yourself, and the acting classes aren't cheap. And 8x10 pictures aren't cheap. Photos for headshots aren't cheap. And it's like you're doing all this in hopes that you get noticed, in hopes that you're not doing it in vain, that you're not crazy. You're talking to God like, God, why you got me doing all this? Like, chance before. You put me in the door. I was real young, but like, they got this thing, God, called 15 minutes of fame. Like, did I have mine already? Like you're saying I get another 15. You say that's what you're saying. So you got conversations with God where it's like, if you let the culture say it, you know, the cancel say it, everybody only get 15 minutes. Well, I think I proved that wrong, guys. That's not true, guys. I want every kid out there, or every person I want that, you know, I'm still young, but it's like, it's people that went to high school and were gonna play college ball that broke their leg, and it's like, is it over for them? Is life over? No, man, you could get a second chance at something else. You might become the coach of the biggest football team. You might become the investor, the owner of the biggest team. There's other levels to it. And this show for me just showed me that. And it just showed me that there's other levels. Don't never let them count you out. Don't never count yourself out. Don't never, you know, always stay working. There's always levels. Not over till you say it's over. So what this show has done for me is just give me that second chance and that hope again. And more than for me, because I always knew, you know how you just know my favorite. If you know me, you know, if anybody that knows me knows for like 15 years, since I took that long break, that wasn't intentional, but God sat me down. God sat me down. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me. It wasn't intentional, guys. He really said, I'm doing something with you. If you're too big, then you won't even fit for the part of Sockie. You know how that goes, Myles. Too big, they can't. You might have couldn't picture T.I. as Sockie because he's already in your face too much. He's too much in your face. Maybe Lil Zane got the role of Sockie because he wasn't out there so much.
Yeah. Perspective.
Yeah. Change the hair up a little bit. People know me for having waves or braids. Change the hair up. Give me this crazy high top. That's what I did to make myself stand out. I was like, I know they're going to notice this high top. Even if I ain't got no words, I know they're going to know this high top. So it's like, you know, for me, it just gave me that extra umph and that extra belief. But for more than anything, I think it showed people. It showed that 60-year-old actor out there that always had that dream to do it, that thought he was too old to do it, or her, that lady that thought she was too old to get married, or that you know, it gives hope to people that got a passion for something but feel like, oh, maybe their time was over, or maybe they missed their moment. It's like, nah, just keep working and God gonna bless you. And I think that's what it did for me. It just proved to me and a lot of people that were watching me, because I got a lot of fans, and young, old, my age, that, you know, that do music, don't do music, that were watching me. And I didn't know how many people were watching. I didn't notice. The show showed how many people were watching and how many people were actually rooting for me, because I thought people for 1 second forgot about Lil Zane, or, you know, I felt like people didn't value Lil Zane like I felt like they should have. You know, everybody wants to be valued. But I was in the gas station the other day and somebody said, yo, man, proud of you, dog.
Hey.
Like, that go a long way. You see people actually proud of you and you're actually doing a good job, and they go out their way to tell me like, hey bro, I had to look twice to make sure that was you because you really playing that character. So what it did for me was just, man, let people know that I'm not a fly by night. I'm here and I really put in the work, because they know that's not overnight, man. Before they thought my success was overnight because they didn't know me. But I felt people got a chance to know me over the years and see me, and they could see that you gotta put in the work and keep yourself out there. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I know we're gonna probably be coming up on time just a little bit. It's been a busy day for you fellas, so I respect that and the grind and the hustle here. I want to get into something a little bit specific here, and this goes to you, Myles. Now, as we see with episode 7, for the folks who had a chance to check out episode 7, because little mishaps and whatnot, but well, for intents and purposes, for the folks who had not seen it, this interview obviously will be released after the episode airs again. But we do want to know, because we found out a big revelation in this episode in regards to Lamar and Kato. And I was like, oh shit, that's nuts. You know what I mean? Like that was the big thing we wanted to know. Then I started thinking more and more about this, because when you're fans of the show, when you want to break it all down, you need to know everything. You need to figure it all out. You need to put all the pieces together. So we know Slick and Lamar have a past, right? Yeah. That's you the soldier to him before you got the water cut off and whatnot. But if I position this correctly, if Lamar and Kato's dad has passed, that would mean that Slick and Kato's dad also has passed, which means that there also may be relations with Kato as well here. So could you tell me, what do you may know about this whole little dynamic going on here?
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Slick is out of there, bro. Slick is gone. All right, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Slick is gone. I don't know nothing that's happening when I'm out. Look, I'm left. I'm off the show, bro. I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? Look, man. Look, I don't know if Slick and Lamar get a spinoff show, a prequel spinoff show, then we'll probably figure out. We might touch on those bases, but I don't know if that's happening. But hey, man, you know what was crazy though? It's just that the amount of secrets, the amount of unspoken truths that are in this show are amazing. Yes. And it's really, and the crazy thing is that like the game is really like that. The game is really like that. So such and such is cousins with such and such, but runs with this crew, and the crew don't know they cousins with this, so they talk to the cousin, talking to the crew, and then both like it's just like it's all over the place, man. So I'm not surprised that all this is happening, but the fan theories are lovely.
That's all I'm doing.
For the longest time, people was talking about I was Cash Dog baby daddy.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I swear I had nothing to do with that.
I had nothing to do with that. So I love that people are so invested into the storyline, because that means that we have created something that people feel like they can invest in, and that's just that's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah, make it well known. Your character may have gotten the water cut off, but you're going to live forever, because that's just part of, I feel like when it comes down to these shows like BMF and Power, that characters never die. Everyone's always going to have theories. Everyone's always going to, come up with discussions and whatnot. So like, it's a fate that I wouldn't have liked for that character so soon, but we're still here talking about it because it's still very relevant to us. So,
absolutely, I appreciate that. And believe me, I got about 5 people singing me the song right now. They sing that damn song right now.
Stop.
Somebody sing me the song. Somebody is reenacting the scene and sending it to me at this very moment. Somebody asking me why I didn't shoot Lamar. Like all of these things are happening simultaneously as we speak.
That is true, right? Right off my my note sheet right here. No, but really quickly, as a follow-up to that, really quick, because that was another question folks were asking. Well, how come he didn't shoot him when he was kind of aware of it? So could you actually take us into the mindset once he knew something was off? I mean, once you turned around and I coach said this nigga's crazy, right. What was the gears going on here? Because it kind of like he knew, but then he didn't react in the response as if he knew. So like, what was happening?
Well, I think the conflict with the character of Slick was that Slick knew that Lamar was crazy, but then Slick also knew that Lamar was going to be his way back in to his sense of prosperity, right? So he's trying to toe the line between making sure that this dude don't go too overboard, you know what I'm saying? And then also letting him know that he's on his side, but trying to keep himself safe at doing it. You know, because I don't know if you see, but like in the part where Lamar chokes out Tiny with the belt, and he choked him out with the belt, and you know what I'm saying, you kind of see Slick like standing behind there like, I don't necessarily agree with this, but I ain't gonna stop it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that was a lot of that character's dynamic when it came to Slick and Lamar. It was just like, I don't necessarily agree with everything he done, but I'm not gonna stop it because I'm trying to get mine too. And eventually it just led to Slick's demise, and him, you know, him not speaking up led to him getting stuck up. And you know, man, like, you know, I think the drama to it is the fact that Slick had the gun. Like, yeah, that's the drama to it, right? Because like that leaves a little bit of hope for the audience member. Like, oh no, you can shoot him, you can still shoot him. Like, no, I know he stabbed you once, but you can still shoot him, right? You can still. And it's just like, nah, bro, I can't, because it wasn't written that way. You know, man, it was a good time. But you know, a quick little tidbit though is just that initially, so they sent me all 6 episodes that I was in when I first got the part. And the initial death of Slick was much quicker, and it was much like more insinuated more than anything. It was like you see like Lamar like start to strangle him with like a phone cord or something like that, and then it said like he like pans off, and then you like see Slick's body later. But when I was on the show, and like Randy Huggins and Tasha Smith and all them, they saw my work, and they saw like the character that I was creating. They knew that people were gonna love my character, so they were like, well, the death gotta hit harder. So that's when they made it the whole drawn out thing where Lamar singing and Slick is like, nigga, what? And like, you know what I mean? Added the song and added the video game and added the crawling and blah, 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 blah. So what? It was just a crazy moment, but yeah, man, it was wild.
Yeah, y'all managed to ruin one of the greatest like love songs in history.
Hey, I could
never listen to that song.
Bro, I think that song is ruined for the rest of my life.
Yes, yeah, like forever. Yeah. But even speaking before your death scene, you also have one of the best scenes of this first season, which is the scene where the whole gang turns against Lamar, and here is Slick with his one little gun, with everybody else pointing, and right there, I thought you saw the true loyalty of like, nah, I'm gonna ride with him.
Yeah. Also,
forever. You know, like that's it. That's my guy.
Absolutely. And you know, he knows that he already messed up. He already knows he messed up by giving away the stash. So it's like, let me double down on my loyalty and show the respect. And it didn't work.
I was about to say, it didn't work.
It didn't work. So that's the end of that story. But no, but it was dope though. That scene was dope when he said put an S on and they all point the guns. Like each time I watched that with a group of people like, oh, yeah. Oh, damn.
Oh,
it's dope.
Yes,
yeah. So you know, again, this is one of the most popular shows on all of television. Starz obviously valued it, already greenlighted for season 2. Lil Zane, your character Sockie is still rocking out here, the soldier as they label him as. But we do know the 50 Boyz is no more. We're starting to see the rise and the start of the family. So where do we kind of see Sockie and the crew going forward, and maybe any predictions going into season 2 with your character?
You know, I can't really give too much away because I don't really know what's gonna happen in season 2. Honestly, they still
give us some fan lore. You know, we can always work with that.
But
in a perfect world.
Episode 7 is coming out Sunday, and we got episode 8. But like, you know, they just can expect Sockie to, you know, things are getting tight right now. It's a lot of disloyalty, it's a lot of mistrust, a lot of, you know. So and just remember, Sockie's been solid this whole time.
Yeah,
you know, Sockie's been solid this whole time. First one to run up on Lamar, you know. So I think where you're gonna see these guys go, man. it's gonna, you know, you're gonna start seeing a lot of things. I can't really get away, but
it's about to get crazy though. It's about to get
like you about to really, true faces are really about to show. Like true colors are really about to show. People that you thought, you know, weren't gonna turn are probably gonna turn. People that you thought weren't gonna link up are gonna probably link up. There's a lot of twists and turns to this show, man, and I think that's what keeps the audience so on the edge, because you can't predict what's about to happen. Like, this is a story we know happened before. We all heard the story. We can read on the story, but even watching the show, you still can't predict what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Everybody thought the show was gonna start when they were BMF. At first, when people were like, "Oh, y'all doing BMF?" and is it gonna start in 2005? No, they went back to the 80s. So I didn't even know they were starting in the 80s. So, you know, it's just full of surprises, man. It's hard to warn you guys what's coming next. It's just, you see it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's coming next. Not Slick.
You know, you know, Lamar might have a flashback about Slick or something.
I was about to say that.
I killed the only friend I had. You know, but about for them 50 boys, you know, we're not 50 boys no more. They broke it up. So now it's like, you know,
the beginning of BMF. You seeing the beginning of BMF?
That's gonna see. Okay, now I was trying to give him something.
Yeah, that is short. You seeing the beginning of BMF.
Yeah.
You see the beginning of BMF. I could tell you that much. You're gonna see the beginning of BMF. But that, try not to. I have these notes here of what not to say.
Just to be clear, we cover, we also, get screener access to it. So we all know about the embargoes. We're gonna make sure this is held for respectful purposes, that for everyone's enjoying purposes and everyone's happy across the board, So
well, thank you for that.
Because I asked Starz what he wants to talk about and not talk about it. Like, the list of what not to talk about. Look,
let me look at my
notes. Your list of what not to talk about.
Jeez.
Tasha said it's just a few things. Hold on. What?
Well, if that's any indication that things about to get crazy for these next 2 episodes,
because that's a lot of pages for 2 episodes. So I don't know what's happening in these last 2 episodes.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe that could be some season 2 stuff over there. Who knows?
Oh, we just want to say thank you guys for being so in tune with us, man. And
for real.
Not only being journalists and media, but actually being like fans of the show is so cool. Like, because some people you interview and they haven't even watched the show yet.
Terrible.
So
terrible.
Well, you don't even know your character name.
Terrible.
I call me Sockie. Sockie. I don't know what they're talking about. So just know that, man. Just know we appreciate it, man. Y'all being toned in and making us like the #1 show in the world, man, on Starz. We really, really appreciate it, man.
Every single week, it is a ritual that we make sure we turn on BMF, make sure we get our review out. And again, for 2 people that we admire, 2 characters that we appreciate, this is an opportunity that we're just very thankful for. We do have just a little bit more time, so I'll give it to Lucas just to go into our final question but I just wanted to make sure, as my last thing is just to say, thank you all for what you're doing. Myles, even though your character's gone, again, you're part of the BMF family, you're part of the Starz family, and I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing you around on something on Starz again. I kind of know how this works a little bit,
From your words to God's ears, from your lips to God's ears.
I'm about to say, Myles just can't tell us right now he on P Valley season 2. We know. We already know.
Myles, who knows, Myles? They might
look, I'm not on P Valley. I ain't gonna be getting on no polls no time soon.
No, we don't want to see that. No,
that's on the show. But I ain't getting on no polls, bro. Hey, you gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying? We keeping it chill over here.
Myles was telling me they're gonna let Sockie in the season 2. Sockie walks by your grave and kicks dirt on it.
That's
because I remember about my little foot when I was stomping you in the truck.
Yeah, that's a
They're gonna have me go leave one of my shoes on your grave.
A shoe print on Slick's grave. Cold.
Oh, that's dirty. So to end it, I just want to ask Zane one more question, which is, you came up in this time period when BMF was the BMF that most people know about.
Yeah.
Like, did that help you relate more to your character? Thinking like, maybe I've seen them, I saw them out. I may have been younger at the time, but I saw them out during this time period. How did that help with your character?
Now, of course, man, because I was always younger than them still. So like, I was a damn near kid in the club watching them. That's what, so, you know, I definitely applied to them. Like I applied that to it. I was like, when I was in my VIP section, how was they in there? So like, I was able to get it from that perspective. And, you know, I did use that, you know, the walk, the talk, how they used to go in and buy every bottle in the club. And, you know, I just knew the end game because I didn't know how they was as the 50 Boys. I knew how they was as BMF. So I had to only imagine. You get what I'm saying? Like you said, we BMF. I didn't know how they were as the 50 Boys. So I just remember seeing them in the club and how they were and just could only imagine, okay, let's take it back to the beginning of that, how these guys have been. So, you know, and as far as just watching a lot of 80s films, you know what I'm saying? 80s films and 80s pieces just to know. And, you know, and I would call certain people up that I knew them, or yo, how was this day? Or boom, boom, how was, you know, you could read a lot of books on each of them, but yeah, that personal experience was definitely what I would go to if I ever got lost. I'd say, you know what? You don't got to think so hard. These are just regular, real ninjas, man. Yep. Like, can you be a real ninja? Yeah, you can. Like, just so you had to remind yourself just to be as real as you could, because these wasn't no made up characters. These was real street guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the street, so I just went back to, you know, when I seen them, some of my homies, you know, just tried to bring that to life.
That's dope. But yeah, like I said, it's been a pleasure to talk to you too. Wish we had more time. We definitely got to do it again. We'll be seeing you around, but you know, we absolutely look forward to the final 2 episodes of this season. We look forward to season 2. And it's just a pleasure to, you know, what you all are doing on BMF and the BMF family. This is, again, one of our favorite shows. It's a ritual for us each and every week to tune in. And this was a pleasure to talk to you all about it. So I hope y'all have a good rest of the day. Zane, I hope them notes, I hope you've been reading them thoroughly. Hopefully you don't get in no trouble. And Myles.
I think I did. I think I did everything the right way.
And Myles, we'll see you on P-Valley season 2.
Y'all, appreciate y'all, man. Come on, y'all, for real.
All right, now.
Hey, thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all so much, bro.
Y'all be
no doubt.